All right, we've got, now that Ken has done a great job of butchering these ribeyes.
Yep. Great thickness.
Yeah, they're consistent.
I didn't trim the outside much, so.
Thank you. I'm going to trim that outside.
Okay.
I want a little bit of fat on there. Fat's flavor, but
right.
I also want it to be symmetrical. And if you leave all that fat on, it'll curl up. You'll end up with a bowl.
Cup.
Yeah,
cupping is, I think, what they call it.
So we're going to trim some of that off. Some of it I want on there, but we'll trim what we can off to keep it. Now you're at the point you can either trim it round or leave the tail. This one I think I can leave a tail because it's got good amount of meat.
Right, so the tail
here.
is this piece right here.
That's right. And some people will cut that off.
I leave it on there. That's what I eat, cut it off on the grill.
That's the first bite, man.
Like the cook snack.
Yeah, I love that part.
That's really a great bite. I'm surprised people cut it off.
And then real important right here where this spinalis muscle connects.
Yes.
If you trim all that fat off,
it'll break open.
It's going to break loose.
When you're grilling it.
When you're grilling it. So I don't trim that off. I leave that on there to help hold it together.
Right.
So to me, that's kind of a nice teardrop looking ribeye.
Yeah, I'd like that.
Like that one?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, that's typically how I do it at home. In competition, people trim them a little more than...
maybe at home.
Yeah. Which is kind of unfortunate because that's all the good stuff. And I have a lard pan right behind us. I put all these
make some tallow
chunks. Yes, I'm going to render that down for something we're going to do later, but it's just all the fat, but they call it lard. And that's where all the flavor hides.
All right, so we're going to leave that one. I think this one I'll have to trim because I think this is going to, we're going to leave it.
When in doubt, turn it out.
Yeah, there we go. One more.
These have great marbling.
Yeah, they're nice. Kind of like an Addison lines on them.
What's that mean?
It's a suburb of
Right.
Dallas. Remember we talked about putting the lines on there? The more lines in it, that fat, the better it's going to have inner flavor. All right, we're good with that. And now we'll just trim this up.
All the good stuff. Those good bites. But that's why you have a dog.
All right, I think we're good there.
Just for demo purposes, take the tail off of one of those.
Certainly. So to take it off, all we're doing is trimming around that horn there. And then now you've kind of got that. I like this bite.
I do too, but in a restaurant they take that off because it'll burn. It's got a lot of fat content in it and it marbles away, so that's why they trim it off, but I like it. So
I think it's a waste. That's my favorite bite right there.
My bite.
So this will be theirs and these will be ours.
Yep.
All right, so that's all we're going to do to these ribeyes. They should be. We're going to season these up, and then we'll work on the tomahawks. But when we're seasoning them, I want to start on the sides, and I just cover that side. Remember, just don't do top and bottom. When you're cutting into this steak, you're going to taste the side as well.
I do it a little differently. I'll do the top and bottom, and then all the stuff that spills on the cutting board, I'll kind of roll the steak in to pick it up.
I don't have to worry about it. You got your maid coming to clean it, so I'm set.
Okay.
I'll make a mess.
Yeah, some cooks are real sloppy, and some cooks are very neat. So some cooks are good, and that's why you're cooking.
And there's there's no right or wrong way. Right. So the way you mentioned is right as well. It's just, so now we've got it all covered.
Can you put too much on there?
You can.
Okay, so how do you know you like just a light, even coat?
You ever jumped into a swimming pool, Ken?
Depends what the water temperature is.
Yeah, okay, so now we're going somewhere.
All right.
Okay, that's my theory.
Okay.
These steaks are starting to come to room temp.
Okay.
Just like when you jump in the pool, you're cold, your muscle contracts.
Right. Okay.
These steaks, if we did it while they're cold, the muscles would contract.
Right.
And they wouldn't absorb the meat.
So that's why you let them sit out.
Yeah, when you lay by the pool, you're relaxed.
Yeah.
Same thing. That's going to open the pores and the seasoning is going to suck down into the meat and give you a deep flavor without having to do a marinade, a brine, or anything to them.
Okay.
So that's the reason we're doing them this way. We're going to do a brine later. We're going to do a marinade. We're going to cover everything, I think. We're going to try anyway.
This seasoning that we're using is the SCA World Championship rub. When Brett and I competed before we started running events, we won the World Championship, and this was our secret rub. So when we started to sell it to people, we quit winning.
All right, so now you can already see how this one's starting to absorb
Sweat a little bit.
Yeah. The longer that sits there, it'll sweat and suck that down. You're already seeing more of a red there than you will over here on these.
How long would you leave them sit like that?
I let them sit in there for 40 minutes.
Wow.
That's the plan.
At room temperature?
At room temperature.
Okay.
Yeah, that's,
away from the dog.
that's the thing. That's the thing people don't consider. They consider, okay, well, the grill temperature, the temperature when you pull it off.
Yes.
A lot of what matters is what temperature it is before you get there. If you're using a really hot grill, you're going to over-sear the outside and the inside won't be done. Whereas if it's room temp, it's already working its way towards your goal.
Okay.
So I love to let them sweat.
You know, there's some great rubs. There's a lot of different rubs. A lot of people we know have steak rubs, but I'm kind of an old school.
Yep.
A lot of times I'll just use kosher salt. I like kosher salt. It doesn't have that sharp flavor. So I'll get a coarse ground pepper and I'll oil the outside of the steak, and I'll use kosher salt and fresh cracked pepper. You know, simple sometimes is better. You know, people will say, what's in that? What's in there? It's like salt and pepper.
Yeah, this rub has
And
10
a little butter.
ingredients.
10
10 ingredients, so it's very complex. But this is salt, pepper, garlic, and onion.
Right. Use what you have. Use what you like. You know, some people are salt sensitive, so no salt. Some people, you know, brown sugar. You know, as crazy as that sounds.
There's some in there. What are you talking about? Thanks, man.
Yeah, right. Giving up the recipe. So really,
You got 9
anything
more.
that's in the the spice cupboard. So, but less is more. I really think that the flavor of the beef should be the star of the show, and not whatever. Especially when you have good quality steak like this, the beef flavor, it's aged, has that nutty flavor. You know, if you're cooking sirloin that was $2.47 a pound,
Been there.
season away, but let the naturalness stand out.
Salt,
Salt,
pepper,
okay.
garlic. That's all you need.
Yeah, I like
You've got natural
pepper,
sweetness
butter.
in the fat, so
Yeah.
it's gonna
Oh, yeah.
it's gonna blend well.
These are
That's
gonna
all
be
you
delicious.
need. And everybody's got salt, pepper, and garlic in home.
Right.
Unless
and
it's
everyone's taste profiles are different. You know, when you cook for a crowd, somebody might enjoy the taste, somebody might not. So it's hard to find that ubiquitous one that everyone likes. All right.
all right. Well, let's hit the grill.
I'm ready.